Welcome back. With me right now from the third board is Director John Franco. Good to see you, John.
Good morning, and thank you for welcoming me.
Well, it's always good to have you here. And what you're going to be talking about today, really the main topic, is landscape, right?
Thank you. And good morning to all of you. The Landscape Committee is one of the many committees that I'm on. I'm on many GRF and Third Mutual committees. And the Landscape Committee is one of my major interests, and I want to talk about it. We had a terrific meeting. I want to talk about that meeting. We held it on the 4th of January. The Landscape Committee meets on the first Thursday of each month. And I would like to emphasize that you're all certainly welcome to attend and talk about any landscape issues that you may have. And you'll always have the opportunity to speak on items that are not on the agenda. And of course, our professional staff will be there to answer any of your questions. And they always attend the meeting, and they take notes, and at the conclusion of your speaking opportunity, they will be there to answer your questions. All speakers are always welcome at these meetings. Our department head, Bruce Hartley, provided a detailed update of the landscape program. He focused on the highlights of new employees, what our objectives are, and what our focus is. And he then provided a detailed statistical analysis of the work request volume. And I'm going to start out this morning with a quick synopsis of that statistical analysis. First, let me mention the annual ticket volume. Tickets, by the way, are the call-ins. So each time you call in, that's called a ticket. I mentioned that because I was telling my wife about this, and she didn't know what a ticket was. The ticket volume has increased substantially, and I'll mention why in a few minutes. But we now have we had 19,200 tickets in the year of 2017, which is an increase of 5,800. 35% of those tickets, or 6,720, are in Third Mutual, and the rest are in the United Mutual. We have 6,104 manners, and United has a slightly more than number of manners than that. 50% of the tickets, or 3,300 of them, were in grounds maintenance. And in order of the volume, the largest number were information requests. And then we talked about the next number are clippings, lawn repair, leaves, and the fewest number in grounds maintenance are weeds. 25% of the tickets are in pest control. That's 1,680. The largest number were in rodents, and then bees in descending order, ants, and then dead animals. 16% of the tickets were in irrigation, and most of them were broken sprinkler heads, and then fewer number of broken irrigation lines, and finally sprinkler area revisions. And 11% of the tickets were tree related. Most were pruning, then limb removal, and then problems treated. And the highlight of I think Bruce's presentation was the introduction of our new landscape manager, a fellow by the name of Larry Hernandez. And while he's new as a manager, he's been in Laguna Woods Village for 10 years and has extensive experience. And it really is a pleasure to meet him, and he's going to do just a great job. So the last 6 months have brought significant changes, and that's probably the reason why we had a larger number of tickets. Winter storms, which were significant and caused a lot less work to be accomplished. And of course, it increased the ticket volume. And we had weeks of cleanup. We lost 200 trees, but we had greater tree growth. We're back on track now, and we have some leadership changes. We filled some vacancies, and I think the landscape is going full bore. I think we're doing well. Our focus is always on customer service. It's our absolute #1 priority, and we want our continuing focus items are calling to ensure we have call back on the same day, faster response, and then of course we have a motto that we believe in now. We believe when we mow, we weed, and apparently that was not the circumstance before, but it's the way we do business now. And thank you for enhancing that policy, Bruce. We have purchased some new machines, and therefore we're achieving a cleaner look. We advise the residents on our cycles, pest control, tree pruning, and mowing on our mowing cycles. We have a new mulching machine. The EPA had shut down our last one, and we're pleased to be up and running, and mulching is very important here in Laguna Woods. And finally, we have a major focus on communication, and I want to thank Bruce Hartley for that particular focus. All right, let me talk about our objectives. Turf reduction, and of course that will save water, and that's a major interest. Arbor Pro, which is a computer program, has allowed us to develop a tree trimming cycle that is now species sensitive. What I mean by that is, for example, the queen palm is one of the worst actors here in the village, and requires a lot of trimming and a lot of effort on the part of the tree trimming staff. That staff, by the way, is headed up by Bob Merget. And there are those trees that don't require the cycle. The cycle, by the way, is 34 months. And an example of a tree that does not require near that kind of level of trimming is a magnolia tree, and sometimes we never trim them. So we're concentrating on tree trimming with respect to the trees that are adjacent to buildings. We're concentrating on our objectives, leak detection, residential and irrigation. I'm on a committee that looks at residential and irrigation. It's our water committee. Irrigation leak detection is one of our major concentrations, because if we have leaks, it causes us to buy Tier 3 and Tier 4 water from the El Toro Water District, and Tier 3 and Tier 4 is much more expensive. Now, we're going to concentrate our leak detection in Gate 11 and Gate 14, because there we have potable water. We have reclaimed water in all the rest of the Third Mutual area, but Gate 11 and Gate 14 has potable water, and obviously we pay extra for that. If we're using reclaimed water, there is no Tier 3 and Tier 4 costs. It's all. And finally, future policy. We want to continue to enhance our landscape policy development. And we're also looking at the Yellow Stake program. The Yellow Stake program allows any manor resident to plant his own trees or his own bushes in and around his manor and take care of them. But then you put a yellow stake down there, and that means that our staff will not get involved, but you have to continue to take care of them. And so we're enhancing that policy and greater communication in that regard. Tree trimming, we're developing a policy with regard to tree trimming with respect to views, and there are a lot of folks that like the view that their manor offers, and so we have to have a policy that addresses tree trimming in that regard. And on a final note, if any resident has a landscape issue, they're encouraged to call resident services. That's the way to communicate and to get your issues and problems resolved.
Right, and as it's been said in the meetings, quite often it is the folks that living out there who see things that maybe are not noticed all the time, and they may notice a problem before even staff does, just because they're living right there and seeing it, and to call resident services so it can come out and be taken care of no matter what it might be.
And one of the best eyes that we have out there are the mowing grower folks who are out there on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And of course, they spot the irrigation leaks, and they spot other problems and report them back.
Yeah.
Our folks are really dedicated, and I think Larry Hernandez is going to continue to do a really, really, really good job, and I'm very pleased.
Yeah, I think he will too. And those irrigation leaks, that's a big issue.
Yes, it
You
is.
want to get those stopped for sure. Good to see you.
Thank you very
We'll
much.
hope to see you again soon.
Thank you very much.
You take care, and we'll be right back.